Right, LK's 19. LK's 19 employee benefits. Send the link. Then LK's 19. Employee benefits. Scope of the stand scope. The scope you need to eliminate share-based payment, SLFRS 2. Share-based payment would be accounted based on SLFRS 2, not based on LKS 19. Right? So from here you can eliminate SLFRS 2. Share-based payment. Share-based payments. In red color. So we should eliminate. We should eliminate just only share-based payment. Right. Now, as you are working in the industry, you are given benefits. You are given benefits. What are the benefits? Can you please list out benefits that you are getting from employers one by one? What are the benefits? You say salary, EPF, ETF, benefit, gratuity, allowances, bonus. Okay, no? Medical coverage, insurance.
Healthcare benefit.
Healthcare benefit. Sales incentives, yes. Commissions. Welfare shops, discounted prices. Benefit. Annual trips. Transportation. Renounce. Foods. Heavy foods. Training. Yes. About leaves, we paid leaves. As lecturers, we are getting sabbatical leaves. When we work for 7 years, we can get 2 years leaves, paid leaves. That is called sabbatical leaves. Saptavarshini only. Ladies, maternity leave, carry forward करो. एक बार वो बाहर से बैठ कर we cannot carry forward. There are leaves that we can carry forward to next year. If you can save leaves, you can take them into next year. The medical leaves, medical casual leaves, if you are not taking them this year, you can carry forward to next year. You know that there are such leaves. Leaves can be carried forward. Let's say you are given 20 leaves this year. You are taking only 15 leaves. 5 leaves can be taken next year. How is it? Then what they know leaves we suck. පහලවක් ගන්න මේ අවුරුද්දේ. පහක් ඉතිරි. පහර යනවා ඊළඟ අවුරුද්ද. Is there any accounting treatment on this? Accounting treatment එක ඕනද නැද්ද මේ අවුරුද්ද? හිතන්න. තමයි හිතන්න. ඕනේ. ඇයි? එන්කෑෂ් කියන්නේ ඒ පහ ඊළඟ අවුරුද්දේ ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඊළඟ අවුරුද්දේ පහ 20ත් එක්ක 25ම ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒතර ඊළඟ අවුරුද්දේ දවස් 25ක් ඉන්නේ නෑ ව්‍යාපාරේ. එයා මේ අවුරුද්දේ වැඩිපුර ඇවිල්ලා. You have served 5 days more. You have served 5 days more. Next year you will not be working for 5 days. 5 plus 20, 20 පැත්තකට දාන්න. අපි පහ ගණන් එක කතා කරමු. What do you think? If you work more, what would happen? If you work more, what would happen? You will generate income next. Again, ඔයා නෙමෙයි ඔයා මොනවාරි ව්‍යාපාරදී නිකන් ඉන්නේ නෑනේ. You contribute for production. ඒතර income එක වෙන්න. එයාට ඒක උඩලා සල්ලි pay කරලා expenses set කරලා නෑ. මොකද වෙන්නේ? There should be an expense. මේ දවස් පහකට දාලා expense එක approve කරන්න ඕන. expense එක approve කරන්න. පඩිය වැඩියෙන් ගෙවන එක නෙමෙයි මේ කරන්නේ. accounting entry එකක් තියෙනවා. මොකද entry එක? Staff cost, debit, accrued staff cost, credit. Accrued staff cost, credit. හරිද? ඊළඟ අවුරුද්ද අපි වැඩ නොකරා දවස් මේ පහට එන්නේ නැහැ නේ ඊළඟ හැබැයි පඩිය යනවා. ඒතර ඒ ප්‍රමාණය මොකද වෙන්න ඕනේ? accrued එක debit කරලා cash credit කරනවා. So already you have recognized staff cost this year because you have provided service this year. එහෙමද? ඒක හිතුවෙත් නැහැ. ඇත්තටම මේවා ව්‍යාපාරවල කරනවද කියන එක විශ්වාසයක් නැහැ. මේවා තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ ලීව්ස් අරගෙන ඉස්සර හැබැයි account වෙන්න හැදුවා. Auditors වලට අහුවෙන්නේ නැහැ. Auditors දන්නේ නැහැ. හරි. Auditors දන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද ඒ වගේ ප්‍රශ්නයක්වත් අහන්න විදියකුත් නැහැ නේ. ඒක දන්නේ නැතුව. මොකද මැනේජර් කෙනෙක් දන්න මැනේජර් නැහැනේ ග්‍රවුන්ඩ් වර්ක් වලට. යන්නේ කවුද? ට්‍රේනි. ට්‍රේනි කියන ප්‍රශ්න ටික අහන්න එපා. ට්‍රේනි දන්නේ නැහැ නේ. ට්‍රේනි එක්සෙම්පෂන් ගන්න බලන් ඉන්නවනේ. Right. Now you have listed many benefits, right? All these benefits can be divided into 4. All these benefits can be divided into 4. Short-term employee benefits, short-term. short-term employee benefits, post-employment benefit, post-employment benefits, short-term employee benefits, post-employment benefits, right? Short-term, post, there was a termination benefits, termination benefits, right? Termination benefits and the other long-term benefits. Other long-term benefits. All these things are defined in the under definitions. All these things are defined under definitions. Short-term employee benefits in the sense the benefits. Can you please divide all these things into 4? Same thing can be written like this. So here definitions. Here we should discuss one by one. Short-term employment benefits. Post-employment. Post after retirement. What are the benefits that we are getting after retirement? Post-employment benefit. After retirement. After retirement, what are the benefits that we are getting? That's post-employment benefit. Post-employment benefit. Short-term employee benefit. Post-employment benefit. Termination benefits. Other long-term benefits. Other long-term benefits. Don't use abbreviations as such, since I don't have enough space. That's why I have written like this. But you need to write full. You need to write full. Okay. Now we'll take one by one. Short-term employee benefit. Short-term employee benefits means what? Benefits that you are getting within 12 months. Because short-term employee benefit, now you have listed many, salary, bonus, incentives, transportation, food. The Okuma short-term employee benefit. Leaves is short-term. Leaves, annual leaves, paid leaves, that's a benefit. Am I correct? Benefit that's a benefit. Accumulated absenteeisms. Accumulated. And paid leaves. Paid leaves can be carried forward. Next. So I already explained double entry or counting entry on that, right? මෙතන විශේෂම අනිත්‍යවදී account එක මහ ලොකු දෙයක් නෙමෙයි. salary එකක් ගෙවන එක you know how to do that. But in this standard we focus how to account that carried forward paid leaves. Carried forward paid leaves. We'll see it. So करने चाहिए हाँ common objective of the standard. Objective of the standard, prescribe the accounting and disclosures for employee benefits. Right, that's the main objective of this standard. Scope, yes, we have discussed definitions, employee benefits in broader level, all forms of consideration given by an entity in exchange for service rendered by employees or for termination of employee. Termination in sense when sometimes employers could ask employees to resign, early retirement. There are kind of terminations. When there is a termination, some benefits will be given by the employer to employee. Short-term employee benefits are employee benefits other than termination benefit, that are expected to be settled only before 12 months after the end of the annual reporting period in which the employees render services. Right? That's short term. So that's how they have defined. Post-employee benefit, look at this. Post-mortem post. The post word post-employment. Again, say where අවසන් කරන්න පස්සේ ලැබෙන benefits. Post-employee benefits are employee benefits other than termination and short term. That are payable after completion of the employment. After completion of the employment. Other long term are employee benefits other than short term, post and termination. Residual approach define residual approach define example like long term employment long term long term, other long term employment. I told you one. Pension posted, you posted it. Saving this labina, and it cover. Saving this people are in the labina. And then we are Hataka too. We told you. Lecturers level activity. Sabbatical leave. Saptavas. Other long term. Other long term benefit. How to have another long term termination. Employee benefit provided in exchange for termination of employee's employment as a result of either entity's decision to terminate, some other early retirement schemes and all. Early retirement schemes and all. Tawagyo isarahat guruwaruta enno early retirement scheme එකක් එන්න ඕන ඊළඟ ජනාධිපතිවරණයෙන් පස්සේ sorry parliament වලට පස්සේ. School education system need to be developed. There are a lot of unnecessary people in the education system. Again, political appointments here. The government මොකද බලෙන් අයින් කරන්න බෑ. මොනවාද benefit එක දීලා තියන්න ඕනේ. එහෙමම තියෙනවා පුතා. ඒ කියන්නේ government හදාගන්න බෑ. දැන් සමහර වෙලාවට political appointments ඒ කියන්නේ තියෙනවා. දැන් සමහර උගන්වන්නත් බෑ. රස්සාවක් හොයලා බැරි පුතන ගුරුපත් වීම. ඒකට තමයි ඔය ටියුෂන් يعني පාසලේ ගුරුවරයා ඒක ගිලිහෙනවා. හොඳ ගුරුවරු ඉන්නවා, ඉතාලම හොඳ ගුරුවරු ඉන්නවා. හැබැයි බැරි වලට නෑ. සමහර තැන්වල තියෙනවා. සමහර තැන්වල තියෙනවා. ඒවා මම මේක නිකන් ගුරුවරු කියන්නේ. පද්ධති තුන නෙමෙයි ගොඩක් අකටම තියෙනවා. ඒතර ආයතන ඒ ගවර්න් ඒ ඩිසිෂන්ස් වලින් මට මතකයි in 2012 sorry 2002 Ranil Wickremesinghe used that method. Ranil Wickremesinghe asked central bank employees to resign. They can benefit එකක් දෙන්න ලොකු අන්තියක් දීලා අයින් කරේ. කියන රැයට වුණෝනේ government servants ආදුවා. කාලේ මේව එන්න පුළුවන්. හරි. Termination benefit එක නම් අපි කතා කරන්නේ. Entity's decision to terminate employees' employment before the normal retirement date. B. Employees' decision to accept an offer of benefits and exchange for termination. අන්න ඒක මම කියනවා. Employees ලා දෙන අවස්ථාව. Either they would accept or not. Then මේව terminate කරන්න. Post employment benefit plans. So we will be taking them. Right? With the demo then and definitions, right? Method post employment benefit. What are the post employment benefits? What are the post employment benefits? We can divide them into two: defined contribution plan, defined benefit plan. Defined contribution plans, define benefit plans. Define contribution plans, define benefit plans. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Define contribution plan, define benefit plan. What do you mean by that? We are in post employment. Say where retirement passes at the benefit. Define contribution, define benefit. What do you mean by that? Define contribution plans. Example. Define contribution plan. Yes, defined contribution. Example like huh? EPF and EP. Defined benefit plan. Gratuity. Correct. 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 What is the difference between defined contribution plan and defined benefit plan? There is a difference. What is that?
There's a contribution from the employer.
Huh?
There's a contribution from employees.
To defined contribution plan. Huh? Contribution and huh?
Company will contribute.
The other company has contributed.
Both parties will contribute.
Taking both parts. එකම නෙමෙයි ඒක වෙනස. දැන් ඒ කියන්නේ අර ඒකේ features එකනේ. නමුත් ඒකේ ඊට වඩා දෙයක් තියෙනවා. ඔන්න අහන් ඉන්න. අරලිය PLC, right? Central Bank, or fund manager, right? An employee. Employer. Employer, employee, central bank, or fund manager. An employee, so define contribution plans, what we do, what hourly entity should do. For each and every month, we should deduct 8% from employee, and employer should contribute 12%, around 20% from that employee's salary. We should contribute to fund maintained by either central bank or recognized or respective fund manager. Central bank government no ne private fund managers දෙන්නවද නැද්ද? ඉන්නවා. දර අන්න මෙතෙන්ට කියවනවා. හරිනේ? When hourly we should pay them? Every month hourly we should pay. ජනවාරි මාසික පෙබරවාරි 15ට කලින් ගෙවනවා. නේ? හරි. දැන් හිතන්න employee at 55 years කියලා. retirement age එකට ඇවිල්ලා දැන් employee. දැන් employee මොකෝ කරන්නේ? employee ට නේ benefit එක එන්නේ. employee කොහෙද දැන් අරලිය ව්‍යාපාරෙද යන්නේ? මේ ටික ගන්න. කොහෙද යන්න ඕන? මෙතෙන්ට යන්න ඕන. අරලිය entity යන්න ඕන මෙතෙන්ට. මෙහෙට නෙමෙයි. නේ? එතකොට අරලිය entity is not responsible for this contribution. එතකොට ඒක බේර ගන්න ඕන කාත් එක්කද? Central Bank එක හරි ආදාළ එකත් එක්ක බේර ගන්න. මෙයා වග කියන්නේ නැත ඒක. Did you understand that? මෙයාගේ වගකීම තියෙන්නේ මාසෙන් මාසෙ contribute කරන්න. ඒක කරේ නැත්නම් මෙයාට දඩ ගන්න. හරි. At the age of 55 years මෙයාත් එක්ක බලන්න. හරිද? මේගොල්ලන්ට අදාළ වෙන ගිණුම් කරන ප්‍රමිතියක් තියෙන පුතා. ඒ කියන්නේ fund managers අදාළ වෙන LK 626. LKS 26. LKS 26 is applicable for central bank fund managers. How to account such a fund? So they got a international accounting standard number 26. Right. එක වෙන මේක මම නිකන් කිව්ව එක. දැන් මේක පැහැදිලිද? මේක කතාව පැහැදිලි. Employee define benefit එකේදී මොකද feature එක? Now, employer should pay gratuities. Right? Then the employee ඒක ගන්න කොහෙද දුවන්න ඕන? මෙතෙන්ට එන්න ඕන. Aralia has a responsible to settle මොකද? gratuity. අන්න ඒක තමයි වෙන්නේ. මෙතෙන්දී මෙයා Aralia is not responsible for the contribution, but defined benefit plan, Aralia entity is responsible. Did you understand? So that's the difference between defined benefit plan and defined contribution. Is that clear? If you need, you can take down this picture and the difference. Defined benefit plan and defined contribution. Right. You can write examples that define benefit plan, what do you call the activity, define contribution plan, EPF as well as ETF. ETF එක ඒ features මොකක්ද තියෙන්නේ? ඔව් ETF එක තව අර employee trust fund එක කියලා සල්ලි ඉල්ල ගන්න වෙනවා. At the end of the retirement, at the retirement. Right. Here you can write EPF, ETF, EPF, ETF, activity. Okay. Now you can read this. You can read this. Employee post-employment benefit plans are formal or informal arrangements under which entity provides post-employment benefits for one or more employees. Define contribution plan. Now you can read post-employment benefit plans under which an entity pay fixed contributions in separate entity, a fund. Central bank and will have no legal or constructive obligation to pay further contributions if the fund does not hold sufficient assets to pay all employee benefits relating to employee service in the current or prior period. එයාට සල්ලි නැතුණා කියලා ආයතනය පලි නෑ. සෙන්ට්‍රල් බැංක් එකට සල්ලි කියලා අරලි එන්ටිටි එක කරන් දෙයක් clear. Define benefit plan. Define benefit plan එක මේක කරලා තියෙන්නේ මේ කරනවන ඉවරයි define. ඒකයි ඉතින් හරිනේ. Employee benefits, these are the 4 types of benefits. Okay, already you have written down 4 short-term employee benefits. Short-term employee benefits. Accounting for short-term employee benefits fairly straightforward. There are no specific disclosure requirements for short-term employee benefits in the standard. Recognition and measurement. Short-term employee benefits we should recognize as an expense in the respective year. The respective year. Short-term absences. That's what I told you. Short-term absences. Non-accumulating paid absences, accumulating paid absences. Non-accumulating in the sense we are not allowed to carry forward. Example, maternity leave. Non-accumulated. මේ පාර maternity leave හම්බුනේ. ඊළඟ උදේට යන්න බෑනේ. Right? Something like that. This maternity pay and sick pay we cannot carry forward. Some leaves can be carried forward. Carry forward to the next period if unused in the current period. Already I explained the double entry. If we work more, we have to have an expense this Galle. There should be an expense in the financial year. Have it? Do this practice question quick. Yes, did you get the answer? What's the double in 14,000? Salary expense debit, employee benefit liability or good salary expense. Correct. Correct. Ah. Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay, Abacon Traders Private Limited gives its employees an annual entitlement to paid holiday leaves. If there is any unused leaves at the end of the year, employees are entitled to carry forward the unused leaves up to 12 months. At 30th December 2003, the company's employees carried forward in total 35 days unused holiday leaves. 35, yeah? Employees are paid 400 per day. Abacon Traders expects all employees to use their carried forward holidays and then before end of 2004 next year. Record the amount recognized in the financial statements of Abacon Traders for the year ended 30 December 2003. කතාව තේරුම් ගන්න ඕන පුතා මේ දවස් 35ක් ඒගොල්ලෝ වැඩ කළා වැඩිපුර. හරි? ඉතින් එයාලා වැඩ කරාම එයාලා ඒ නිසා revenue generate වෙනවා. ඒක අතර expense එකක් set වෙනවා. ඒ නිසා ඒ අවුරුද්දේ record වෙන්නේ. double වෙන්නේ මොකක්ද? Salary expense or salary expense debit, accrued salary expense credit 400 into 35, 14,000. That's the double, right? Do this one. Question number 2. Question number 2. මෙතන ලියා ගන්න per day 400 කියලා ලියා ගන්න. Salary expense per day 400 කියලා ලියා ගන්න. 400 කියලා නිකන් ලියලා තියාගන්න. ඔව් සර් ගානක් ගන්න. සංඛ්‍යාවක් ගන්න බලන්න කියන්නේ. Galle Fisheries Limited has 300 employees. Each is entitled to 7 working days of paid sick leave for each year. Last year, then 7. And unused sick leave can be carried forward for 1 year. Unused sick leave can be carried forward 1 year. Sick leave is taken on first in, first out basis. Meaning has been given. That is, firstly, out of the current year's entitlement, then out of any balance brought forward. මුලින්ම මේ අදාළ වසරට අදාළ හත තමයි අරගන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ තමයි කලින් ආපු ඒවා යූස් කරන්නේ. හරි. As at 31 December 2004, average unused entitlement is 4 days per employee. Average unused entitlement is 4 days per employee. Adhikari Fisheries expects, based on the past experiences, which is expected to continue, that 285 employees will take 5 days or less sick leave in 2005. Again, hatak tira habe pahai ganne. Are pahai ganne. එතකොට carry forward කරනවද? Remaining 15 employees will take an average 10 days each. Average 10 days each. එතකොට කීයක් ඊළඟ අවුරුද්දට අරන් යනවද? දැන් කී දෙනෙක්ද අරන් යන්නේ? 285 employees the 15th. Adhikari Fisheries expects, based on the past experience, which is expected to continue, that 285 employees will take 5 days or less sick leave in 2005. කියන්නේ ඊළඟ අවුරුද්ද ගන්න හතකට අඩුවේ. එතකොට මේකෙන් අරන් යන්නේවා යුටිලයිස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. හරි. still behind 2004. මේ කතා කරන්නේ 2005 ගැන. හරිද? 285 people will be utilizing only less than 7 days. Less than 7 days කිව්ව ගමන් මොකද වෙන්නේ? මේ අවුරුද්දෙන් අරන් ගියපු ඒවා යූස් වෙන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද first last in first out නේ. එහෙම නෑ. ඒ නිසා ඒක හැබැයි පස්සේ දෙන්නේ මොකද්ද? 15 employees. They will be taking how many leaves? 10 leaves. 10 leaves. එතකොට 10 leaves කියන්නේ හතක් ඒ අවුරුද්ද දෙනවා තුනක් මේ අවුරුද්දෙන් අරන් යනවා යූස් වෙනවා. පැහැදිලිද? 3 into 400 නෙමෙයි 3 into 15 employees පහලව මේ එක්කෙනෙකුට 3යි 3 into 15 එතකොට 45 days into 400 කීයද? 45 days නේ. හරි කීයද එතකොට? මේ 3 ආවේ කොහමද? 3 ආවේ 10 minus 7. තේරුණාද දන්නේ නැහැ. තේරුණ නැත්නම් කියන්න ඕන. ඒතර කීයද පුතා එන්නේ? 18,000. What is the double entry? What is the double entry? Staff expense debit. The group staff expense credit. Yeah, double entry there. 18,000. Right. Right. Okay. Right, profit sharing or bonus plans, that's a short-term employee benefit that would be accounted in the same financial year, right? Post-employment benefits, there are two types of post-employment benefits: defined contribution plan, defined benefit plan. Defined contribution plan, already you are aware how to account defined contribution plan. EPF, ETF calculation, EPF, ETF. How to account EPF, ETF? That can be done through salary control account. මතක් වෙන්න කියන්නේ salary control. Gross salary, let's say 100,000, double entry. Double entry. Salary expense, debit 100,000. Salary control credit 100,000. Right? Within a salary control. Next, EPF 8% should be deducted from salary control account. EPF payable 8,000, right? Salary control account debits, EPF payable account credit. Then 12%. EPF expense debit, 12,000. 12,000. Then EPF payable credit, 12,000. Then it was said how much entity should pay salary. What is the net salary to be paid to employee? 92,000. Double entry, cash credit, salary control debit. Make a P&L. This one 20,000 should be payable to central bank or whatever respective fund on or before next month 15. This should be charged to salary expense P&L. So this is how we should account EPF contributions. Define contribution plans. Contribution plans. Right. ඉස්සල කියපු එකම තමයි කියවන්න බලන්න. In the case of අපේ පුතේ කියවන්න අග්ගල් කියවන්න.
So like this page the division are considered the size of the post employment benefits. For how where the investment the plan
perform. Right. ඉලංග පුතා.
In the case of a defined benefit plan, the size of the post-employment benefit is and the employer and possibly current employees pays contribution into the plan, which are invested. The size of the contribution is set and amount that is expected to earn investment returns to meet the obligation to pay the post-employment benefits. If the assets in the fund are insufficient, the employee will be required to make additional contribution into the plan to make up the expected shortfall. If the fund asset appears to be larger than
need to be
and in excess of what is required to pay the post-employment benefits, the employer may be allowed to take a contribution holiday if stop paying contribution for a while.
Right. This is defined benefit plan. We have to have plan asset. We have to have plan obligation. We need to keep plan as a, because let's say suddenly 3 employees resign from the job. We need to pay gratuity. Right? We have to have sufficient funds. If we don't have sufficient funds, then what will happen? Employee can sue against us. The legal requirement. Right? We have we have an obligation to pay. So I can Galle in the back. Gratuity කියන එක අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ගවන්න ඕනේ. ඒක employees ලගේ අයිතියක්. ඒ නිසා ආයතනයක් ඒකට සල්ලි තියෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒ contributions දාලා ඒක මම කියා දෙන්නම් කොහොමද කරන්නේ කියලා. Define contribution plan. Define contribution plan. Contributions being paid into pension plan with the result that benefits are variable depending on how the plan has performed. The contributions are counted as an expenses. 8% අරකින් අඩු කරලා දැම්මා. 12% we charge as charge to P&L expenses, right? This is how we should mention them in the statement of financial position as well as statement of profit and loss, right? Do this practice question and we can take a break. After a break, I will take you through on defining benefit plan. How to define benefit plan. Actuarial valuation අනම්මන ඒකට කරන්නේ. Actuarial valuation report එකක් දෙන්න කරන්නේ. Did you answer? Pacific Plants Limited contribute 5% of employees' salaries into post-employment plan each period. Salaries amounted to 8 million in the year 31st March 2024, and the company had paid 350,000 into plan by reporting date. What is the amount to be paid? 400,000, right? 5% into 8 million, 400,000. But they have paid only 350,000. So what we should do? Balance 50,000 need to be accounted. Double entry sale is P&L debit 50,000, payable credit 50,000. This amount already paid, nene. Company had paid. Contribution expense. Define contribution expense debit. That's P&L. P&L debit 50,000. Contribution payable account credit 50,000. Right. Okay. These are the disclosures in respect of defined contribution plan. Description about the plan. So we need to provide information to readers of financial statements about the plan. Amount recognized as an expense in the period. That also need to be mentioned in the financial statements as disclosures. Right. So this one we can discuss after. Take small break. Maximum 15 minutes break. Right?
ഈ വെള്ളത്തിലുള്ള ഭാഗം കോംപ്ലക്സ്
बस एग्जाम देगी बस ये वाला लेती प्रेजेंटेशन देवा कराने की नहीं किया मैं ये ऑनलाइन पे फिर मैं इसके ग्रुप असाइनमेंट के ग्रुप में आता हूं क्रेडिट दे मत के देखो एक सेमेस्टर वाने के का पहले से एचआरएम में एमआईएस के सेमेस्टर वाने के का करना है एक बात है एचआरएम के क्या वाली प्रेजेंटेशन एचआरएम के ना एचआरएम Basically, part you. Bapak ikan gimana mau ikan dia makan mandi exam ikan gimana ada presentation ikan mau meeting dia ikan gimana mau ikan ada CEO dia ikan bisa dia ikan lo ikan presentation kan dia तो अच्छे ये वो रे अरे चार दिन के ना ये ये और डांस पाप पैराग्राफ डालो नहीं रे ये लोग नहीं करते අවසදෙන් මේ දැන් මේ මිනිත්ලාගේ සෙට් එකක් මම හිතන්නේ කරන්න නැත්නම් නේද? presentation එකක් මටත් වඩාරක් කරනවා ඉන්න එකට මම මේක කරලා දාලා තිබ්බේ ඉස්ප් එකේ එකයි මගේ ඒර මම කිව්වනේ ඉන්න වෙන්නේ අර කයි දෙකයි කියලා මට ඒක අපි අදාල් කරනවා අනේ මට තියෙදි ස්ටාර්ට් එකේ මට සීන් අද උදේ කිව්වේ මේක හොදේ දුන්නේ ඒක අපිට ඉන්න වෙන්නේ අපිට මේක ඔන්ලයින් දාගන්න පුළුවන් අයියෝ අවසදියේ ඩිජිටල් එක ඒක අවුලක් නැහැ නේ එයා කියලා තිබ්බේ සීනියර් කියලා අන්ඩර්ස්ටෑන්ඩින් හදලා සම්මත ඒක ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එකක් operation itu හැබැයි අර දෙක බර්ඩේ කිදි කොල්ලස් කරන්න පුළුවන් ඩිජිටල් එකක් තියෙනවා නේද ඔව් එතකොට ඔපරේෂන් ඒක සර්ටන් මේ ඔබ යන්නේ මෙයාට ඉන්ටර්නෙට් එක කොඩිනේට් කරන්න online stitching that is online making a balance. Interest in you know ready. Stubby. You know, they're itchy, but they ticket range. In this, they are given from presentation ideas are it's a significant
Right. Ask others to comment. Okay, shall we? Did you sign? Right, okay, now we can discuss define benefit plan. Define benefit plan. Defined benefit plans, right? Okay. When we are having defined benefit plan, we have to have plan asset. Plan asset. Plan asset. On the other hand, we have to have plan obligation. Plan obligation. Plan obligation, right? Right. So we can have opening balance. We can have opening balance. 1st of April 2023. We can have opening balances. Now, plan asset in the sense, maybe that could be a FD. Plan asset. We have to have asset. Right? If employees are leaving from the business, we have to have asset to pay them. Right? So, for instance, is a kind of FD. On the other hand, we have an obligation. We have an obligation, right? So we should recognize obligation based on actuarial valuers report. Let's say there are around 500 employees in an organization, right? Then we have to have estimation when people are leaving. At the age of retirement, they will be leaving the organization. So we have to have proper estimation. Chartered accountants are not doing actuarial values. Actuarial valuers will be doing actuarial valuation. Right? Chartered accountants record based on actuarial valuers report. Got it? Now we have these two balances. Then let's say during the period entity contribute to this plan asset. What would be the double entry? Contribution. Double entry क्या? मैं हमें double entry समय अभी कतांग double entry सुने कि तब तेरे entry ते मुगल can understand. Cash credit, plan asset, debit. तर मैं आटे එකතු වෙනවා. හොඳේ? එයාට එකතු වෙනවා. මේ පැත්තට එන්නේ නැහැ. හොඳේ? හරිනේ? පැහැදිලිද? plan ඒ කියන්නේ මේවත් වර්ධනය කරන්න එපා පුතා. It should be enhanced. asset එක වැඩි කරන්න. Contribution එකක් දාන්න. During the period couple of employees resigned, we have paid. Payment. Double entry. Payment. Payment. Employees ටිකක් එළියට ගියා. එයාලා අපි ගෙවන්න එපා. මොකද වෙන්නේ? Plan. What? Obligation debit. හරි. මේක මෙහෙමනේ. ඊළඟ cash වලින් out වෙනවා තමයි. දැන් asset එක නඩු වෙනවා. asset එකේ තියෙන FD එකනේ FD withdraw කරලානේ අපි දෙන්න. නිකන් ව්‍යාපාර දෙන්න සල්ලි දෙන්න බෑනේ. මෙයාගෙන් තමයි දෙන්න ඕනේ. පැහැදිලිද? හොඳ ඒකේ දන්න ඩබල්. හරිද? And there is a current service cost. Current service cost. That's an estimation by the actuarial value. Current service cost based on the increase of number of employees, salary increments are there. ඒවත් එක්ක එනවනේ පුතා වියදම. නේ ඊගන්ට obligation වැඩි වෙනවද නැද්ද? double entry. Current service cost double entry. asset එකට බලපෑමක් තියෙනවද? No. double entry එකේ. දැන් අලුතෙන් employees ලා ගත්තම obligation වැඩි වෙනවද නැද්ද? ඒකේ අපි වියදමක් තියෙනවනේ පුතා. double entry කියන්නේ P&L debit, plan obligation credit. So ඒක ඔය විදිහට දාන්න. මේක P&L එකට යන්නේ. හරිද? There can be past service costs as well. If there are past service costs, we need to adjust these opening balance. I will explain later. හරිද? මේක කියන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ do we need to account interest income and interest expense? නේ? දැන් මේ තියෙන්නේ අපි ගෙවන්න ඕන වටිනාකම් වල වර්තමාන කියන එක. අපි ගෙවන්නේ අනාගතේනේ. අපි ගෙවන්නේ අනාගතේ. ඒතර ඒක වර්තමානයේ තමයි මේ තියෙන්නේ. ඒතර ඒක ඩිස්කවුන්ට් කරපු එකේ මොනව කරනවද අපි ආපහු? නක් ගන්න ඕනේ. හරිද? හරි. ඒකට interest. දැන් FD එකට interest ලැබෙනවද නැද්ද? ලැබෙනවා. double entry. Interest income, credit, plan asset, debit. ඉතින් මේක 100ක් ආවයි කියනවා. හරි? මෙයාට දෙනවද නැද්ද? Yes. මේ opening balance එක තමයි ගහන්නේ. You will be given rate, you should use opening balance to adjust. එතන මෙතන 50යි කියලා. double entry මොකද්ද? Obligation credit, interest expense, debit. You are allowed to record as per the standard. You can set off income and expenses. You can charge the balance to P&L. So 50. Did you understand? The balance can be charged to P&L. Balance can be charged to P&L. Make a hurry. You can keep one space here. Then closing balance. Closing balance. 31st March 2024. This balance would be given by whom? This balance would be given by who? Actuarial valuation. Actuarial valuer should give this. Based on the valuation report, we should get the balance. අවසානයේ balance එක දෙන්න ඕන. Plan asset එකේ balance එක, plan liability එකේ, plan obligation එකේ balance. හරි? දැන් මෙතන වෙනසක් ගන්න පුළුවන්ද පුතා? Yes, there can be a difference නේ balance sheet figure. There can be a difference then. මේකෙන් මේ ටික ඔක්කොම ටික අඩු කරලා එකතු කරලා අරගෙන මෙතන balance එකක් ගන්න. හරිද? හරි. ඒ තමයි මොකද? Actuarial gain or loss. Actuarial gain or loss. Actuarial gain or loss. හරිද? හිතන්න මෙතන balance එක ආව 20ක් කියලා. ඒක double entry මොකක්ද? double entry හිතන්න. Actuarial gain or loss should be charged to OCI. මේ කියන්නේ OCI එක. මේකේ OCI එකට දැන් මම මේ කියා දෙන්න වෙන පරණාවක්. ඒක double entry වලින් හිතන්න ඕනේ. හරි මේ විදිහේ double entry. There is a balance sheet figure of 20. Double entry කියන්නේ OCI credit, plan asset, debit. So OCI credit හොඳේ. OCI credit. ඒක ඔළුවේ තියාගන්න පොඩ්ඩක්. මෙතන ආව කියලා හිතන්න 30ක් balance එක 30ක්. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ පැත්තට balance එක set වෙනවා 30ක්. දැන් මේකේ double entry. Plan obligation credit, OCI debit. දැන් ඕක වෙන වෙනම ලියනද මේක net එකද ලියන්නේ? net එක. එතකොට මොන පැත්තට දෙන්නේ? OCI debit 10. ඒක තමයි actuarial gain or ඒ gain එකද loss එකද? Actuarial loss එක. loss එක ගන්න ඒ නිසා නේද debit වෙන්නේ? Actuarial loss. Is that clear? Actuarial loss කියලා දානවා OCI එකට. ඊට පස්සේ මේ දෙක කොහෙද පෙන්නන්නේ? plan asset. ඉතින් මේක 1000යි කියලා. මේක 1500 කියලා හිතන්න. කොහොමද ලියන්නේ? Are you going to write separately? Defined benefit asset, defined benefit obligation separately? No. You should write net defined benefit obligation. Once a year. Obligation but the net defined benefit obligation 5. That should be mentioned under non-current liabilities. Hadi. ඔය ටික ලියන්න. ඒ සංඛ්‍යා දන්නවම ඔයාලට බෙස්ට් වැඩි තියෙන්නේ. නෑ just දෙලා විදියට.
Business.
හරිද? සංඛ්‍යා ටිකක් දාගන්න අවශ්‍ය නම් සංඛ්‍යාවක් දාගන්න පුතා. ඒතර ඔයාලට තේරෙනවනේ ඒක. දැන් මේ කියා දීපු විදිහට පොඩියට පැන්සලෙන් හරි ඒක ලියා ගන්න. එතකොට ගානක් හදනකොට හරි අවබෝධයෙන් වැඩේ කරන්න. Did you write? Now we can answer. Right. Okay. We'll see some. Make a net defined benefit assets or liabilities calculated as follows. Present value of defined benefit obligation, fair value of plan asset. You need to take the difference and the balance can be shown in the statement of financial position. Right. There are some definitions on defined benefit plans. The net defined benefit liability, that can be asset either, both sides. Deficit or surplus. What do you mean by that? Deficit or surplus? The present value of the defined benefit obligation less fair value of plan asset. So that's called deficit or surplus. The difference should be just identified as deficit or surplus. What do you mean by asset ceiling? Asset ceiling is the present value of any economic benefits available in the form of refunds from the plan or reductions in the future contributions to the plan. We cannot go beyond asset ceiling. We cannot go beyond asset ceiling. That there is a restriction. There is a restriction. There are practice questions, so we can do them. Then you will be able to understand more on asset ceiling. Present value of the defined benefit obligation. You know how to calculate present value? There are future cash flows. The employee estimations. Major employees are may out projections. The kiyak sali given and a present value of obligation. Actuarial values. Actuarial values, right? Plan asset comprise. Plan asset comprise. Plan asset asset held by long-term employee benefits fund. Or as well as qualifying insurance. What is sometimes insure. The insurance company risk minimize. Sometimes we can have fixed deposits, sometimes insurance plans. Right? Fair value within service cost comprise. Service cost comprise what? Current service cost or past service cost. Past fair value product fair value.
Transfer a liability. What are the transactions between market participants?
Right. Service cost. Current service cost. Past service cost.
Service cost, which is the increase in the present value of the defined benefit obligation resulting from employee service in the current period.
That's why we have charged them into defined benefit obligation. P&L debit, obligation credit. Is obligation value now. Past service.
Past service cost. It is the present value of the defined benefit obligation for the employee service in the
prior periods.
Resulting from the plan amendments of the amendments
or resulting from the plan amendment or curtailment. Settlement. When there are changes in the previous things, there is a past service cost. Double the opening balance double again P&L debit, opening obligation credit. Make
interest from the then defined benefit liability.
Interest did we discuss interest? Yes, net interest. Making we should charge into P&L.
is the charge during the period with the net defined benefit liability of that arises from the
Passage of time. Passage of time. Remeasurement of the net defined benefit liability of asset comprises. Remeasurement එකක් වෙනවනේ at the end of the day. Feeling. Those things we have charged them into P&L separately, no? Then at the end, the balance need to be charged to OCM. Need to be charged to OCM. Then actuarial gain also. Product assumptions for the evaluation is done. When there are changes, that should be adjusted prospectively. Estimation change the product. We should adjust prospectively. So the LKA is 8. Is 8. Counting steps.
Yes. The benefit is discounted to arrive at present value of the define benefit population. They are record plan asset is deducted from present value and define the benefit population.
Okay. So these things need to be done. Step number 2.
Benefit asset has to be
Restricted by asset ceiling. We cannot go beyond asset ceiling, right? Even though there is a surplus. There can be a surplus, but if there is an asset ceiling, we cannot go beyond asset ceiling, right? Step number 3.
Step 3 determines the amounts to be recognized in profit or loss. These may include
Current service cost. We have charged to P&L. Current service cost charged to P&L. It was it? Service cost.
Okay. The net interest on the net defined benefit is liability.
Because of P&L in a minute. Yes. Step number 4. Remeasurements. OCI. At the end, there is a remeasurement, and that difference should be charged to OCI. Here on. Yes, continue. Then determine the amount of the net defined benefit liability or asset. Remember that report would be given by actuarial valuers. There can be asset ceilings. Based on them, we need to adjust according to those 4 steps. Right? According to those 4 steps, we need to adjust. So we'll do this practice question. This is connected with the asset ceiling. Asset ceiling. Asia Coal Limited operates defined benefit pension for its employees. 31st December 2003, the company was advised by actuaries that fair value of the plan asset was 19.3, present value of the defined benefit obligation 16.4. What is the surplus? Surplus? Surplus 19.3 minus 16.4. Surplus kilo takkan? Surplus kilo Huh? What's the surplus? Answer. Number 3 then. 4. Plan asset. Here. Plan asset. Balagate ne. 19.3, 16.4. Surplus. Here the 2.9. 2.9. But what is the asset ceiling? Now the surplus is 2.9, but there is an asset ceiling. And present value of future economic benefits in relation to plan was 2.7. The difference is 2.9. Right? If fair value is 2.7, so we cannot go beyond 2.7. That 0.2 need to be charged to PM. Yes. So 2.7 is not out there, back. Back in. So asset ceiling. 2.7. So the 0.2 need to be charged to PNL. 2.7. Right. Okay, moving forward. Determine the amount to be recognized in the profit or loss. We have charged them into PNL and make contributions to plan. Double entry. Contribution to plan. Again. Plan as a debit. Cash credit. Payments out of the plan. Payments out of the plan. Payments cannot. Double entry. Payments. Hita. Mukada duit ni mukada duit. Mukada duit. Jadi masuk tak. asset එක credit obligation එක debit book. හරිද? මතක් වුණාද? asset එක අඩු වෙනවා. දැන් asset මම අර ලියලා පෙන්නුවේ පුතා. asset එක අඩු වෙනවා. obligation එකත් අඩු වෙනවා. හරි? ඒක double entry. service cost obligation එක credit. හරි. net interest කිව්වම දෙපැත්තට ඒක double entry නේ set වෙන්නේ දෙපැත්තට. ඒ කියන්නේ සුද්ධ වෙනස කියලා පීනර දාන්න. ඒක වෙනම කතාවක්. මොකද double entry set වෙන්නේ වෙන. පුතා කියන්නේ asset එක interest එක asset එකට දීලා interest income එක credit වෙනවා. ඔයා කියන්නේ මේ liability එක interest එක liability එකට දාලා obligation එකේ interest tax set වෙනවා. The interest expense debit obligation credit. ඒ දෙක අතර වෙනස තමයි කියන්නේ. Remeasurement okay. Right. Who is published? Read. Take a picture. Take a picture of this. Picture එකක් අරගෙන මොකද දන්නද දැන් මම දැනන ලයිව් බෝඩ් එක. Okay, shall we discuss the answer? So you have to have both sides, asset, obligation. දෙපැත්ත දාගෙන හදන්න. At 1st of January 2002, fair value of the asset of a defined benefit plan were measured at 1.1 million. The present value of the defined benefit obligation 1.25 million. ඒක දාගන්න ටක් ගාලා. Right. Planned asset, plan obligation. Opening balance kiyada පුතා? කියන්න බලන්න. 1.1 million. මේ පැත්ත පුතා? ඔක්කොම 10 වලින් හදන්න ඈ. Right. ඊට පස්සේ contribution එක කීයද? Contribution kiyada පුතා? 490 ඈ. මේ විදිහට දාන්න. 490 ඈ. හරිද? මේ පැත්ත ඉරන් ගන්න. ඒතර ඔළුවේ වැඩ කරනවා double entries. Cash credit, plan asset, debit. Payment. Key the payment. 190 from here you should deduct. 190 you should deduct. Asset credit, obligation debit. It was interested. Service cost. Current service cost. Key 360. මෙතන ඉරක් හොඳේ. මෙතන ඉරක් මෙතන 360. Double entry හිතන්න. P&L debit, obligation credit. මෙතන P&L කියලා ලියලා තියන්න. ඊළඟ interest. කීයද? 6%. දෙපැත්තම 6% නේ. ඒතර 1000 6%. 66. Double entry, interest income credit, planned asset, debit. At that, this is 6%. 75. P&L debit, obligation, credit. Right. The other Venus? 9. 9. 9. Oh, 9. 9 dama P&L. Net figure. Right? Ilan? Yeah. Closing balance key. Ruler tira gahan ne. May I get? That's 1.5. May I get? Obligation?
1,553,000.
1,500,000. 0.6. Correct? Then method difference here. Take the difference. Actuarial gain or loss. Me pen har liye wenna me. Liye wenna me technical issue එකක්. කියන්න. මෙතන කියන පොතේ වෙනස? What's the difference? 93,400. ඒතර 94 එන්නේ 93.4. දහස් වලින් හදන්න පුතා. දහස් වලින් හදන්න. හරි. 93.4. වැරදිද? කී දෙන්නේ?
34,000.
34 දෙන්නේ එතකොට. 34. Yes. හරි. ඒතර මේ 34 වලින් OC එකට මොකද වෙන්නේ? අපි කියන්නේ ඩබල් එන්ට් එකක් විතර හිතමු. Asset debit OCI credit. හරි. මෙතන කියනවා අර අපේ කියන්නේ කොහොමද? 58.6. ආවද? ආව. ඒකත් මේ පැත්ත අඩුවක්ද තියෙන්නේ? ඒ කියන්නේ මේ පැත්ත හිඩසක්ද තියෙන්නේ? ඔව්. ඒ කියන්නේ ඩබල් එන්ට් වෙන්නේ OCI debit obligation credit. OCI debit. දැන් මොකද කියන්නේ මේකේ සුද්ධ වෙනස? සුද්ධ වෙනස කියන්නේ 58.6 වලින් 34 අඩු කරා. 24. මේක කොහෙද දාවන්නේ? OCI debit, right? OCI debit කරා. OCI debit. තේරුණාද? Actuarial loss එකක් පුතා. Actuarial loss of 24.6. Okay? The method, the make obligation එකන්නේ පුතා. What is the difference? 58.6. ඒක double entry හිතන්න. ඒක double entry හිතන්න. Obligation වැඩි වෙනවනේ. then obligation වැඩි වෙනවා. Obligation credit. Where to debit? OCI debit. හරි? then OCI මන් debit මෙතනනේ. Making OCI කරන මොන පැත්තටද ගියේ? OCI credit. You should take the net to the මේකයි 58.6යි 34යි. දෙපැත්තටනේ ගිහිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. Both side. then මේකේ වැඩි පැත්ත මෙයා. එතකොට 27.6යි. then OCI debit. Clear? OCI debit. OCI debit 24.6. Now, what is the difference between these two? 53.6. This is net defined benefit obligation. This should be charged to charge me. Should be recorded in the statement of financial position. ඒකෙන් අර ඉතින් බැලන්ස් ෂීට් එකේ ගත ඒකෙන් තානේ දෙනවා ඒක අවසාන ශීට් එන්නා ඉතින් ඒක නැත්තම් අර 37 ගන්න 37 ගන්න බැලන්ස් ෂීට් හරි පැහැදිලි ඒක නම කොටුවක් දාලා තියෙන්නේ කොටුවක් දාන්න බැලන්ස් ෂීට් එක පැහැදිලි නේ Ceiling price මේකේ නෑ දීලා නේ. ඉතින් ඒකේ මේ තියෙන දැන් කීයද ගන්න? 50 දැන් ඒ ceiling එක කියනවනම් asset side එක වැඩි වෙනවා. දැන් මෙතන තියෙන කොහොමද obligation side එක? ceiling එක දැන් ceiling එක අවශ්‍යතාවය. හරි. එතකොට මෙතන මේක අනිත් පැත්ත උනානම් planned asset higher than the obligation then 53.6 surplus. Right? එතනදී කියන්න පුළුවන් මෙච්චරයි පුරමේ යන පුරමේ පිට එක 50 ගෙස් ගන්න අන්න එතකොට 3.6 to charge බිලු මෙතන තියෙන අනිත් පැත්තට surplus එක නෙමෙයි obligation හැබැයි මේක actuarial loss එකක් loss එක නිසා තමයි OCI debit වෙන්නේ මේ දෙක අතර වෙනස obligation. ඒ මෙයා පැත්ත වැඩි නේ පුතා. තේරුණානේ? හොඳයි. ඇත්තටම account එකට තියෙන්නේ මේක account කරා. actual valuation එක කරන්නේ value කරනවා. දැන් අපිට තියෙන accounting part එක. double it දාලා
the value කරන්න මොන එක
ඒක requirement එකක් අනිවාර්යෙන් actual valuation book එක ගන්න ඕනේ. විශේෂයෙන්ම specify business entities. නැත්නම් කොහොමද obligation හදන්නේ?
ඒක සර් ඒකට ගන්න බෑ. දැන් අපිට ගන්න.
කම්පැනි වලින් මොකද යනවා පොලිටස්ලා කියනවා නෑ accurate solution report එක කියනවා. ඒ report එක නිකන් දෙන්නේ හරියට. කියන්නේ optional log එක. ඒක charge accountant එක කරන්න බෑ. ඒක actuarial value එක maths කරලා තියෙනවා. Finance paper spreadsheet. Correct? Okay, right. Then we'll the balance question you can do at home with the past service cost. අපි ඒවා ලබන සතියේ කතා කරමු. හරි? We'll discuss them in the next week.